I don't eat breakfast during the week. If I have stuff to do, if I'm working, I like to work on an empty stomach. If it's not like creative stuff, if it's like my job, I don't want anything in my stomach. I just want water. I want to feel that hunger. Um my current job has been very physically demanding, so it's not, yeah, it's mentally exhausting for sure. But yeah, I used to do roofing and construction and stuff like that, and that was a mover. That was definitely warranting some food. But in this state where I just need my mind sharp, I don't do I don't do any food during the day. Maybe like a nectarine or something, just to give me a little bump. But it just consume a lot of water. But on the weekends, or whenever I'm not working and I've got time, breakfast becomes my favorite meal of the day. And it's not like I necessarily love the food. I love the process, whether I'm cooking breakfast or going to a diner. A diner specifically is like the best time. I love the small diners that don't look like much on the outside, the ones that claim to have the best burger in town. And usually they have like a breakfast special. If you show up early enough, save a few dollars. So whenever I can do that, I like to do that. Find that my company. I go alone, by the way, but the other people there they're like older people, seniors, just out for their day. That's one of their outings, and it feels nice. I know Bree is going to watch this and make some comment about my age, but that's okay. What do you like to do for breakfast? Do you like diners? Am I the only one? I know I'm not the only one because they're always popping. I don't like to get anything too fancy. One like maybe like once a year, I'll sort of try something uh, out of character for myself. It's not that I don't like things that are extra. It's just for breakfast in particular at a diner. I just want like the basic breakfast. Maybe it's called like the classic or something. But it's like two eggs, maybe some bacon or some sausage, potatoes, hash browns, home fries, whatever you want to call them, and some toast. That's what I like best because it fits the aesthetic. I think I'm there not for the food, but for the happening, the moment, to try and like get lost in like a scene, just to be among the sounds, the ambience of forks clinking on plates, and the the banter of the staff in the back, the insincere politeness from the waitress. If it is insincere, there are a lot of very polite waitresses and they're lovely, but at least the diner I'm thinking of, she'd go from like a smile, thank you very much, turn around, and it's just like a scowl. Hated her life, it seemed. And I think like people forget this woman is working a job like the rest of us, and just because we have the day off or time to enjoy breakfast does not mean she's there out of her own goodwill. She needs to make some money. So he turns around to get the scowl. I like the mediocre coffee that tastes like hot dishwater. I like the mess of a plate that just kind of slides in front of you, the thud, the drag. So, what do I get for breakfast? Usually, well, I told you, right? How do I get my eggs? Usually over easy. I've always been like fascinated. Well, I wouldn't say it's fascination, but I found the aesthetic appealing. It's really just for my own sort of, I don't know, it's just to be in a space and catch a vibe, because that to me is inspiring. Like, I'm not there to cosplay as somebody who enjoys breakfast, because I really do enjoy it. But there's some specific arrangement of all of these things, all of these characteristics of a diner, and the breakfast, the coffee, and the quiet dialogue between other patrons, the bill, the insincerity. But like, there is some kind of heart there. It feels safe, usually. Less so now. I get a lot of weird looks now. I think people are just really anxious and paranoid about everything. But I just tune them out. I got my notebook. I sit down. I slowly eat the breakfast. Um, because in that environment, in that chamber of resonance, that energy that bounces around through sound and insight, it like tunes my frequency to a very particular point in my life that just happens to be the most efficient I've been with creativity. So it just puts me back in there. I feel at home in a diner, most diners. I feel almost among myself, the ghosts of my former incarnations at other tables they could have been. So I'll sit there and I'll write. I'll pen out whatever screed I'm doing. Sometimes it's just like a stream of consciousness turns into a poem, or maybe I'm just observing, taking down the details, dialogue, the look of people, like the fine details, what they've ordered. And then I'll slowly eat my breakfast. The waitress will be by like 15 times. I'll be there for an hour and a half eating just this one plate of food. I'll eat it. What happens is I'll be writing primarily, then I'll have something. I'll get like, okay, I got it. I'll ignore the food and I'll just focus, hyper focus, fill out pages upon pages. Then I'll feel like I've come to a point where I've run dry of that specific creative thread. I'll slam the book closed and then I'll just polish off the food and then down the coffee, because I've got what I need. I've got the creativity. It's done. Close it shut. Can I get the bill? And I go. It's a very quick process. It's slow, but once I find it, it's a slow build, but once I find it and get it, then I've got what I need out of it, because it wasn't about the food. It was never about the food. It was about the process, the opportunity that it provides. Do you have something like that? Do you have a place that you go? Like, another thing I had was going for a run in the morning. The run. Get up at 4 a.m. I would run like 7 to 15 kilometers, and I'd walk back along the lake. I'd walk past the coffee shop. I'd get a coffee, and then I would listen to a full album on the way. Stop and maybe notice some squirrels or something, some wildlife, nature. But that process of running, it's like a way to clear my mind. And in this similar way, entering a diner, or maybe it's the familiarity, I don't know. But there's no stress when I'm there. Just let it go and left alone with my thoughts. But it's only if I'm by myself. So I just thought, like, left alone with my thoughts, as I say that now. I know I'm not the only one, because this is the thing. Like, I feel more alone in a crowded room with people that I'm supposedly attached to than I do if I'm just by myself. There could still be a room full of people, but I'm not attached to anybody. If there's any attachment, it doesn't work. I have to be completely like disconnected. I have to be a ghost. Do you have anything like that? Am I just talking nonsense here? Well, I know it's not nonsense because it works for me. But do you have some sort of like a temple, an unconventional temple, where you're met with uh, a, a lot more creativity than you would have been otherwise in any other place? Some people like a library. Some people go for a swim. I'm curious about that. What works for you? For me, it's a diner or a run or coitus. Post coitus, of course, is always a clean slate and a good feeling. So yeah, what is your thing? That's my thing. What do you like for breakfast? Do you eat breakfast? That's not like, to be clear, that is not my breakfast of choice. It is a creative breakfast. It serves a purpose. It's for the aesthetic. It's for the vibe. It's for the frequency. But I don't know. If I had to think about it, what my favorite breakfast would be, it would probably be like, it'd be something hipster or like, it'd be very light. It'd be like granola and avocados and yogurt and stuff like that. But that doesn't meet the vibe that I need. So, no, not that. Peace.